Hello.
Woo!
Hi, Jamar.
Coach G, what's up? Tech team,
Happy
what's
Vested.
up?
Look.
Vested community.
Hi, what?
What's up, man?
Hi, man. Here we are again. What's up, Jamar?
Hey, I like your lumberjack look today. Like, I love the rugged.
Stomach thing, and I
all right. I see you like in a kicking someone's butt in the alley somewhere, man. It's like
I will run an ankle over.
Man, how you doing?
I'm all right, man. What's the week look like? I feel like something's different. Something's. I feel like maybe there's like a release out there somewhere. I just don't feel like I don't know, maybe the intensity's lifting, or I'm open, Jamar. That's what's up. I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to work hard. I'm ready to look at the world from a perspective of opportunity, and all the other stuff that's going on, I'm done listening to it.
I feel you, man. I think as society, as people, you can only restrict human nature for so long before it just rebels and says, I don't care about rules, laws, regulations, signs. We moving, we doing something. And I think right now, just the vibration out there, that there's people that are saying, hey, we got to still keep going. Like things are going to still continue, still keep living life, and still keep taking ground. Now, there's still a lot of people out there who are in the box, not leaving their home, doing their thing, and it's okay too. But I think just the vibration you're feeling, because you're definitely in tune with the vibration of the world, Coach D, is that you're feeling like that's what people are like. Hey, no, we got it. It's time to move. We got to do stuff. We're over not moving.
Well, my deal with the whole I am, we are process. We're not meant to be in isolation anymore. We're here to create as individuals, but not individually. We go into isolation, maybe inside ourselves, so that we can figure out who we are, but that's only supposed to be temporary. Then we share who we are. So I think that right now what's happening is you have, I don't want to say a separation, but it's almost like a cream rising to the top. And for people that really want to experience joy in life, there's no other option. They're sick of being isolated. They said, it's time to do something. So it brings me to our guest today, Jamar. We need strong voices at this point. We need to be able to have people to look up to so that we can, I don't want to say follow in their footsteps, but to be inspired because people believe in a better way. And it's not about money or fame or fortune. The better way is what drives them. And some of these people have experienced a lot of fame and fortune, and some of them haven't. And whether you're the one that has or hasn't, those types of mavens don't seem to care. So I was thinking about we should have on tonight, and I have a really close friend that I've known pretty much most of my life. Yeah. And she's a really special person. She has been an entrepreneur when it comes to advocacy since she was a child. And I just can't wait to bring her on today, Jamar. I mean, I've been literally looking forward to this because she is a strong voice. She's out there doing it. She's living her passions. And as she does, she's affecting the world in a way that is completely organic. And the weird part is that she's been one of those quiet churners for so long. And now all of a sudden, the world's starting to know, whoa, who is this superstar ninja over here? So
I love it.
Jamar.
Man, I'm excited, bro. I'm excited that you're excited, and I'm excited to meet. Let's go. Let's roll. Who we bringing in?
All right, let's bring in. This is Miss Sunny Bach. She has a laundry list of wonderful things. But
Sunny!
Let's just let her say hello.
Okay, good to meet you.
Mr. Jamar, this is my lifelong friend, Sunny. She is the woman of the year. She is an incredible Venice advocate. She's an extremely special person, and she's shared some stories with me just in the last couple of days that I didn't know about. So I'd like to introduce the Vested community and my friend Jamar to this special person.
Sunny,
my friend.
Yeah,
pleasure and an honor.
Sweet. Thank you so much. You're so sweet and generous. Thank you.
Shine your light, bring
Oh,
your power. Don't hold back.
What are you talking about? That's what I want to know.
That's so good.
So tonight, I just shared with the Vested community while you were in the waiting room or backstage, whatever you want to call it,
Backstage.
that we're going to unveil a superhero tonight. And I know you're uncomfortable with these things, but all superheroes are. Nobody that is an advocate from the core, because it's a passion of who they are, likes to be put on blast. Because the reason that they do it is because it really drives them to be who they are. And Sonny, that's why I was moved to bring you on tonight. Because since the moment I've known you, whatever it is that you're involved in, you're always involved in something cool. You're all in. And you seem to do it from a place of just pure passion. So
You're embarrassing me, Damien.
And love, Coach G, and love.
Hey, look, that has to be a part of it. That's where it comes from.
Yeah.
Wow.
Love is the answer, isn't it? You know, that's for me. It is.
All right. Well, if you don't mind, let's get started. We inspire, create, and empower. So let's inspire. My friend Sonny Bach, let's start from the beginning. There's always something that inspires people at one point or another to thrust them into who it is that they are. Now, in the last couple of days, we had a couple of conversations, and I've known you for the artist and entrepreneur and advocate, but you told me some stuff about how you grew up that made a lot of sense. Will you take me back to New York when you were a kid ditching school and tell me a little bit about how you became this Sonny?
Oh God, that's so funny. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that there's anything in particular. My dad, I guess, was kind of my inspiration of sorts because he gave me my first camera. He's the one that brought me to a dark room for the first time where I saw the picture in the water appear in the dark room. So that was like magic to me. And after that, when I was like 12, he gave me my first camera. He was a journalist at the United Nations for a Korean newspaper, and he would be at the UN. And so he's always been a advocate for justice and peace and things like that. And I don't know, I just started photography organically when my dad gave me this camera to replace my little box camera. I had a passion for Broadway, and I used to go to Broadway and hang out, see Broadway shows and hang out outside and take pictures of celebrities. And he gave me my first Nikon so I could take better pictures. And that's what I did through most of my teens, is take pictures on Broadway.
Okay, super. Slow down. Okay, hit the brakes. You were taking pictures of snails. Okay, you weren't running around and catching fireflies. All right, you're on Broadway taking pictures of celebrities, ditching school when you were 12. Come on, get into it.
Yeah.
Well, that was
just drunk.
I just loved theater. I guess when I was 12, I just loved theater. I loved seeing that action live right there on stage. It was exciting every night. It was different every single performance. And I wanted to be a part of that. I wanted to be a stage manager. Eventually I thought, oh, that would be great. And then I guess when I was 17 or something, I realized a stage manager is never going to retire. That's like the top of that. But I still love theater, and I started, just taking pictures and graduating from being a paparazzi to wanting to do fashion. So I used these Broadway actors and dancers as my models when I first started to shoot. And it was New York in the 80s, and everything was exciting and wonderful. And, it was an exciting time in New York.
Much more. Okay, so she's all, it was New York in the 80s. It's an exciting time. I was like, paparazzi, had some models and this and that. Okay, ready? And this just came up in conversations that I had like last week. I didn't even know this. Okay, Sonny. So you had a studio up the way from Andy Warhol, and tell us a little about the Beastie Boys if we're going to get real specific.
Yeah, come on.
God, so my first studio was on Broadway and 18th Street. And it was just a giant 5,000 square foot studio that was down the street from Andy Warhol's factory. So I used to see him go to work every day, and just was shooting. I used to take pictures and look at it across the street at the photo studio across the way where Antonio Lopez, who is a fashion illustrator, would take pictures of girls on the fire escape right in front of me. And I was like, wow, what's happening in that studio? That's amazing. It looks so glamorous out there. And then little did I know that, I don't know, maybe 15 or 20 years later, no, I guess less than that, maybe 10, 20 years later, I wound up being in that studio and being that person taking pictures inside there. And that's where I met the Beastie Boys, was around that time in the early-ish 80s, I think, maybe 83 or something. And was just, I had graduated high school from the same school as Adam Horovitz. And I had interns, and one of the interns was his best friend, Dave Skilkin, who was in The Young and the Useless with them. And so the guys would just come and hang out at my studio where I was shooting a lot of fashion. But yeah, they just showed up and they were hanging out, and we used to hang out at night. Yeah. Take pictures in the street and do stuff. That was out of a photo session that I did for their publicity, their first album, Licensed to Ill. And that was some of the publicity shots that I shot for them. One of the only times I got paid to shoot. Like this, I didn't get paid to shoot. We were just hanging out on tour with Licensed to Ill. And we were in a limousine coming from Tommy's Burgers, and they were going to perform at the Palladium. They were so excited. So we pulled the limo over and they all jumped out, and Adam jumped up on the marquee. So I just happened to be at the right place at the right time.
Wow. That's powerful.
Okay, but that's how creation works. Am I right? I mean, you looked up at the trellis and you're saying that would be cool to be there. And next thing you know, you're in that studio with
yeah, kind of, right? It's just life. I mean, I think my whole life has been like that, that I'm just in the right place at the right time. I don't even know how it happens. It still happens so much. It's happening even more now than it did early on. I attribute a lot of that stuff to my Buddhist practice, because I've been chanting since I was 12 years old. When a teacher shakabuku'd me, which is to tell somebody about Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, and that was something that I didn't expect, and I didn't even know what I just did it. It was interesting. I did it. I practiced it. I learned things, and it's just been there, and it's now that I look back that I see what an influence it was on me,
Sonny, I got a question for you, because not everyone understands that from that vibrational meditative state, right? Of what you're speaking about. How would you be able to articulate that to someone who doesn't know anything about what you just said? I don't want to say it how do you pronounce it again?
Nam-myoho Renge Kyo.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about right there.
What it means is sort of, the word Nam means devotion of your mind and your body, which are one. Myoho, there it is. Myoho is mystic law. I can just read it right off of here. Renge means sound vibrations. And Renge means cause and effect. I'm nervous, obviously. Renge is cause and effect. So, you have many causes in your life you make a cause and you get the effect. So everything is a cause or an effect. And Kyo is sound vibrations, which is why you chant Nam-myoho Renge Kyo out loud rather than just thinking about it. So, it's, it's a lifelong study, right? Life is about studying and about faith and about the quest. And, so it's just turned out to be that. I never thought, I'm going to chant for the rest of my life. No, you take it day by day and you just, whatever happens.
Man.
Okay, so you're in New York and
Yeah.
things are happening. I mean, okay, so everything that you've explained to me so far, it's what I understand art to be. And when you are part of art, it's not that you have to go do it and create it and make it. It's just you just are driving in a limo and the beastie jumps out of the car and hangs from the thing and you take a picture and bam, there you are. That is what art is. And like you said, now as you start to reflect and look back, you're starting to wonder, oh, okay, but my question to you is, you have this spiritual practice. You have this very pure, creative energy that is just, I don't know, everywhere it seems like you go, making this magnificent art piece out of life. What did that feel like? You're talking Studio 54, you're talking Beastie Boys, you're talking Andy Warhol. I mean, you're in the middle of history, and you still are. But I want you to take me back to what the feeling was that inspired you to just continue to expand and create.
It's none. When you're in the middle of it, it's you're not thinking, oh, I'm at Studio 54 or oh, it's Andy Warhol. It's just like, oh, I got these 3 yamooks that are showing up at my studio. What the hell? Like I'm in the middle of stuff. Guys, get the fuck on. It's not, none of it felt like you're just in the moment. Whatever's happening, you're just there. I never thought of it as, oh, anything. I just, what do I want to do now? I'm going to go do this. I'm going to do that. I want to have fun. That's, oh, I got to pay the rent. So I better shoot something for money instead of just shooting stuff for free, and so it's just life. It's just, what do I do now to have a good time? It's like this moment and this moment and this moment and that's it. So I don't know. I can't really answer that question entirely. It's just being present, doing it.
Okay, hold on. Let's pivot a little bit then, because this can dovetail into where this kind of question came from. So here you are in this magnificent creation, energetic time, right? What did you do when you would run into situations where you lost the connection to that flow? Let's say it's writer's block. Let's say that you haven't had a gig in a while. I mean, a lot of the people that might be watching this right now are going through this, trying to figure out what their genius is, what their creative spark is. But they're not used to being in the flow of just having it work all the time. So when you kind of got knocked off.
Oh, that totally has happened, Damien. That's totally happened. I mean, in the 80s, I would worry about having to pay my $3,000 a month rent, and go, oh my God, I'm going to have to pay this and I don't have any money and blah, 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 just taking life day by day. And I was like, oh, I would worry so hard about the rent, for instance, that once in the 80s, I actually worried myself to the point that I had hives, right? And it wasn't until that moment that I was like, whoa, worrying about stuff so much that it affects your health like that. Made me realize that, you know what, I'm either going to have the money or I'm not going to have the money. But if I worry about it, then my health will deteriorate and then I won't be able to do what I do to pay the rent. And I think that was one of my biggest lessons in life, was to not worry about stuff like that.
Wow.
Not worry about it to the point that you're making yourself ill, you're stressed out, like. So I think that I was just so fortunate to have those problems then, because it showed me that worrying about them was going to do absolutely nothing to push my life forward.
Nothing.
You just go do it. And that I think that between that and doing what you really don't want to do, that phone call you want to make to the landlord that say, I don't have the rent or I can't do this or whatever, that's the first thing you should do, is to do that thing. Yeah. Right? Just take that thing, do that first. And now you didn't waste 3 weeks worrying about it when the landlord was going to say, oh, it's okay, take your time, whatever.
I call that, Sonny, from the warrior to the warrior. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because those are two different people. One person is the warrior. Yeah. Our spirit and our bodies are so strong that we can physically change our body from the way we think internally.
Yeah.
Right. And that can go positive direction or it can go the not so positive. Right.
Damien will tell you that.
Oh, right.
I'll try both.
Yeah. The old, you will never walk again,
Come on.
You'll never, you're going to be in a chair. I'm like, I got told that too. And it's, no, it's all here.
The warrior
breakthrough. Guys, you're both talking. Both of you are talking about creating. Can we do the create thing?
Let's Sonny, look up. Look.
So the elements that you guys are speaking about, both of you are saying, like, look, you're gonna run into these times, right? Mm-hmm. And you're just gonna have to make a decision. And Sonny, like you said, you can wait 3 months to make this decision, and you can feel all bad about it, XYZ, or you can just realize that it's not, nobody bats 1,000. Every once in a while, you do fall out of flow, and you're gonna have to make some decisions. It might not necessarily be comfortable, but you gotta make them anyway, sooner or later. And the quicker you get to those, the quicker you get out of that feeling and into something more that you would like to be a part of, right?
Yeah, be that, be the person that you wish you could be, right? So just like a carefree, worry-free, happy person. Well, nobody's stopping you. It's
so look, take me from New York to Venice. Let's make this transition real quick. So you're creating your Broadway or paparazzi. I think we need to touch upon some big some monumental things that had happened, maybe a little Newsweek story, maybe a little Time story.
No. Well, that was just
1993.
In the 80s, I used to go back and forth to New York a lot because my mom lived here, but my studio was in New York. And so I would be bi-coastal during the days when it was $99 to fly both way, one way. So even cheaper some days. So I would come back here a lot. But when the Beasties all moved here in the 80s, I would also wound up just staying here and getting a place near my mom's and staying at my mom's a lot. And I wanted to have that time with her. She was getting older and stuff like that. So that's what brought me to LA. And other than that, it was just, I wound up being everywhere in LA, different little places in near LACMA and stuff like that. But when I went to Venice, it was so much like New York. There are people walking in the streets and you can't tell who's homeless or who's a famous photographer or who's, your councilman or it's just some whatever, it doesn't matter. Everybody's just walking. It's all the same. And it felt so much like New York. So I really got connected to Venice.
Wow.
Okay, so you're clicking off photos and you're doing this modeling thing, but eventually as you started to, I would say, get paid gigs and people started to notice that, she is with supermodels and she is taking pictures of movie stars, and all of a sudden here you kind of pop onto the scene as more of a significant.
Well, I just did a lot of pictures of celebrities in the 90s out here. I shot a lot for a magazine called Details Magazine. So I did a lot of stuff for them. I mean, I've shot everybody from Madonna to Liz Taylor as a kid, and from Keanu Reeves to Engelbert Humperdinck, So it's all whatever just showed up. It wasn't anything. I did a cover for Newsweek. Is that what you're talking about?
There we go. I was like, it's not about what just showed up. You didn't just take photos. You challenged the times, okay? And that's what makes you the strong voice that, so like I said, I didn't know too much about New York or your childhood or you ditching class or anything like that, but I did know about, since I've known you, you've always had a strong voice in terms of your art, in terms of what you believe in terms of what you stand for. So, I mean, I've participated in this from the outside, but at the same time, when you're on Newsweek and you're on Time and you're taking pictures of Johnny Depp and Madonna, like most people, and obviously when you're in the art, when you are the art, you don't stop to catch up. But most people at some point look around and they're like, okay, man, I made it, I did it. But as you're creating and as you're doing all this stuff, at what point do you recognize that this creation process is starting to radiate out and you're really starting to affect people with your passion and your vision to the point of advocacy? Because it was more than just pictures. Now all of a sudden
I don't even know.
An idea.
honestly, I don't even know. I getting the cover of Newsweek was just random. It was because the girls on the cover, one of them I used to date, and the other one knew the cover editor of Newsweek, and he said, "Oh, I'm going to do a Newsweek a lesbian cover," and she said, "Oh, try my friend Sunny Bach." And I didn't know that actually there were 4 photographers shooting 4 different covers. So it was, there were lots of cover possibilities, and it was just because it was a, random thing. They just chose that image out of, 16 different couples. And so I was just lucky. It was nothing. I never thought, oh, this is going to be anything. I had no idea it was going to be one of the 10 best-selling covers of Newsweek ever. It didn't make me an advocate. It just was, and out of that, I wound up having a lesbian and gay card line, and did posters and puzzles and all this stuff for a company called 10%, and then for G Gallery. So people were, I shot a lot of gay couples, and then books came out of it. So it was totally by accident. It wasn't that I said, oh, I got to do this, but the advocacy and the exposure of that was just totally random, totally, oh, now I'm shooting lesbians, and now I'm taking pictures of this lesbian band called Femme to Femme. Oh, now I'm going to live with one of the girls in the band, and she turns out to be your aunt. So,
Girls,
just saying.
You've been the one behind the camera. Okay, you've been the one creating. You've been the artist. Jamar, this is vested. This is what it is. When you're vested in something, when you commit, when you are that, when you're the essence of purpose, you're not defining things. You are it. Okay, and now Sunny's kind of like stepping back in the last couple of months or years. She's been looking at, she goes, whoa, wait, okay. I mean, and okay, these Beastie Boys photos are now popping up all over the scene, and she's got a gallery and everything. This is it. As a community, this is what it looks like to be. This is the answer. There's no formula. There's no do this, and this, and that's what it is. Once you feel it, once you pursue it through the I am, we are process, once you're in it, man, hey, you're doing it. Tomorrow, this is what we need. This is what we need right now. We need strong voices. We need people to commit to who they are, and we need people to let go. We need them to fall into themselves, to be a part of this everything. And then when you're that, you have this abundant life like Sunny does. And it's like magic. She's like, well, I mean, I guess I just chant, bad things happen and good things happen. I was in New York, I was in Venice, and I guess, right on, everything, Beastie Boys, Madonna. Yeah, guys, that's it. You just got to fully commit.
Coach D, I want to challenge the thought though. And first and foremost, Sunny, word on the street is that cover is still one of the most all-time selling covers for Newsweek. So I just heard that's what the word is on the street. So just but on the formula though, Coach D, I think that look at that. Come on.
Man, I didn't take that picture, but that's wonderful. That's a great picture. And there's Christina, who is
there she is.
They're all
my aunt, the
friends.
rocker.
Your aunt, the awesome talent that she
is indeed.
Wow. Yeah, there's Christina.
Coach D, I wanted to touch on this real quick because I want to challenge your thought too, if I can, because you said there is no formula, but really there is the formula, right? And so even though someone may not know what their formula, there is the formula, right? The definite purpose, the desire, the burning, the desire.
So funny you say that. You sound like my dad, Jay.
I love your dad.
My dad. When you said burning desire, oh my God. I got
there it is,
a little kid, right? Since I was a little kid, he had charts on the walls and stuff like that. It goes, burning desire and never give up. That was his whole big thing. Never give up.
You got some.
I don't know.
What's your dad's name?
Dr. Bach. He was
Dr.
a
Bach.
doctor of law.
Check this out. Check this out. Check it out.
Desire. Yes.
Come on. Hey, but since we were talking about love,
yeah,
you gotta have a little, have a little heart in there too.
Right? Yeah.
That's
great. That's exactly. Yeah.
Right.
That's what he always says. You have burning desire. I don't know.
Not burning man, burning desire.
Burning desire. Yeah, I mean, he I guess that's where I got it. I keep on going
Wow.
back to my dad because I realize who he was and what he was and how I got all this stuff, justice and what, the whole idea of world peace and everything, that was all burned into me since I was a little kid. So it's just part of my lexicon, I guess.
Well, you think about the creation, right? That's what Dr. Bach, he created in you by depositing these thoughts and frequencies and vibrations, right? Look what has been created in your life.
Yeah, I guess so. There you go.
Nah,
my practice.
Hey, back to you, D. Back to you, man.
Oh my gosh.
So, why don't we move on to empower? There's a lot that we need to talk about still. That is where we're at now, and I think I don't know. Let's do it.
Empower. Yeah.
We're in Venice now. Okay. Talk to us about how at first you're just there and you don't necessarily jump right into being involved in the community, and you shared a story with me earlier today that kind of got your heart, and it's not, I think it all just sort of came together again. It's almost like you needed a hiatus or something, but tell me a little bit about where the advocacy thing came in and where you really grew into the Venice community.
Oh gosh, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I love Venice. Venice is just an awesome town, and I don't know. I lived here for since '98 on my block, and I guess it was about 10 or 12 years ago that I decided, you know what, I've been living here, and I didn't really know a lot of people in the community or my neighbors that well or anything, and I thought I better start getting to know people. I better give back. So I ran actually for the Venice Neighborhood Council, and I didn't even know what it was for most of the time, but every neighborhood has a council, and so I ran for it and I got my vote. So that was it. I just got one vote, me. And so it wasn't until much later that, I just started volunteering for things. And one of the things that came up was this new event called the Venice Art Crawl, and local restaurant tour and Venice Paparazzi's Edison Stoll and Mike Newhouse, who is a lawyer, all started it. And I wound up being a volunteer and going to all these meetings and meeting other artists in the neighborhood and businesses. And the goal was to make it safe on the boardwalk, to, bring people and life to the boardwalk at night on the Thursday night when there's not usually traffic down there. So I was an advocate for that, an ambassador really, and went around and met different businesses and talked to locals and got involved. And so for the last 10 years, I've been volunteering for the art crawl, and the last 5 years I've been the president, and I'm just trying to keep art alive in Venice. It's been a very changing, community. And actually Empower is one of those things that it's really, I'm still learning about a lot, what does it take to empower the community to participate? But even that happens organically, because we always are going, wow, what are we going to do? How do we get everybody together for another art crawl? And I thought, well, Danny always said, if the community doesn't want it, then it'll just disappear. And I'm like, yeah, okay, that sounds right. So I sort of almost put it to bed almost every time. And at the last moment, artists are like, when's the next art crawl? How do we participate? Let's do this. And, it really happens super organically. I can stress about whether it's going to happen, but I don't know. I don't know what to say about empowering. I think it just happens. I'm trying to learn how to empower people, but the art crawl itself just happens at the last second. Everybody wants to participate and do another art crawl by themselves at the last second. So it's been going on for 10 years.
Wow.
Okay.
Do you have any
Jamar,
tips
again?
for me on how to empower people, Damien? 'Cause
Well,
I
hold
came
on.
here to
Yeah,
learn.
I will. I'll help because your story is empowering. And again, when we get into this section, like she's looking at it, since you are the living art, Sonny, I guess it's hard to see what color the paint is when you are the paint, right? But you have multiple canvases, and the one that you chose to speak about is the one where you are again serving people. But let's go interpersonal, okay? Venice also has another issue with mental illness and the homeless. And since you are on a couple of these advisory boards, you're overseeing all of the macro issues, I guess, that are down there. But there was something that you said to me earlier about how when you walked right out your front door, there was an individual that you met that moved you in a microwave. This is somebody that you literally walk right past. And I think that in this COVID reflection that we're dealing with right now, Jamar, a lot of us kind of, I guess, have the answer. And if we turn inward and work really hard towards getting it, it's right there. So when you walked right out of your front door and you saw an immediate problem in your direct life, please share with us how that affected, I don't know, your overall outlook and how it played into this Venice art crawl, into this bigger picture thing.
Well, yeah, I was telling you the story of how I saw one of my homeless neighbors that had been outside unhoused for a while, and I would see him all the time, but it was when his life was on the line that I realized that I had to do something, that I couldn't just complain that there's this homeless guy outside or not care. I had to actually do something because his, you had to do something. Couldn't just let him be, on the street. And so it was then that I actually, called neighbors and friends, and we wound up getting him into housing in the valley where he got off of alcohol, and he has a roof over his head. And it just showed me that if you care about one person, you have to just take one person at a time, because everybody's saying, well, this homeless situation is so out of control and what are we going to do and everything. And Gina, my girlfriend, and I were talking about this, and she's, it's really one-on-one, take care of one person, and it makes a difference. I just feel like if there are 40,000 homeless, well, there's millions of people. There must be 40,000 people that care about one person, either their relative or their friend or their neighbor or, whatever. And if we just start taking care of each other, that we can make a difference. Maybe the homeless thing doesn't, because right now we're in a real tenuous situation, right? Lots of people are going to be homeless. They don't have the money to pay the rent right now. They don't have a job. They don't have this or that. But we can take care of our friend. We can make sure that our friend or our neighbor doesn't wind up not eating or doesn't, wind up in the street or whatever. Something can be done. You can help them get it. I don't have to name it. It's whatever it is at that moment. And that shift of making it somebody else's problem, that it's the councilman's problem, it's the mayor's problem, and why doesn't the president do something, and why doesn't this organization do something or that, or how about just one person, just take care of your uncle, make sure that he doesn't wind up in the street, or maybe, have tolerance for your brother, your relative, your whatever, and just make sure that they're going to be okay and not be in the street. And I think that that's the beginning, and then I think there are legislative things that we have to figure out, and there's a lot of politicking and whatnot, and we have to figure out how we're going to help the mentally ill in the street right now, because that is something that, not everybody is prepared to take care of, but they're the growing population in Venice. Venice has become a dumping ground like downtown LA, and the vast majority of the people are mentally ill that are, that need help. And we have to figure out what is the community, what is the country going to do about this problem, And
Jamar, we only have an hour
think
here.
outside the box. Yeah, can you guys fix that right now for me right now? And
what happened?
Wow. That's powerful. Hey, you're a mighty woman, Sonny.
Oh, I'm just here.
Okay, this is where I was going. Okay, we're in the empower section, and we've now dealt with. Okay, so we've dealt with Art Walk, and we have dealt with the idea that she is an advocate for the homeless. And she just went digging through her pictures one day and realized that she had some bangers of the Beastie Boys. And now she is in an art gallery herself as a photographer. And finally, drumroll please, Jamar, the woman that we are interviewing right now in 2019 was the Woman of the Year.
Come on, baby.
Put it up there.
Oh, man.
Come on. Don't be shy.
Well, listen,
Crazy.
Don't be shy.
Crazy.
come on. Okay, an Oscar winner's never,
She's so
the
awesome.
Oscar winner's never going to take the Oscar out and throw it on the counter.
no.
Someone's got to do it.
That's
So I had to do it for you, Sonny. Listen, you have all these different projects going on, okay? It is empowering that you're participating in any of them, okay? And especially at the rate that you're succeeding in each one of them. What would you say right now to all of the people out there in the vested community, or just period, to how they're looking to just do one thing and they're struggling to find just that one thing? I mean, just take the art walk. How has it changed just the art walk with this COVID thing that people are going through? Artists and the shops out there. Like, what would you say to somebody that's just looking to find one thing to spark their fire?
I don't know. The Venice Art Crawl. So the Venice Art Walk is a fundraiser for the Venice Family Clinic, a wonderful organization, but not ours. Our event is called the Venice Art Crawl, and that's because we are just crawling. We're not quite the big art walk, which raises millions of dollars. We're the crawl, and we're just trying to keep art alive in Venice. I think, I don't know what the one word is. It's just to participate, I think, participate and get involved. Get involved in your community and your family and your life, and just get involved.
Wow. Sonny, I have a question for you. We were talking about this pre-show. How has the COVID reflection the last year empowered you, and what have you learned in this environment?
Oh, wow. COVID's really helped me to slow down, for one. And I'm spending a lot more time working on my meditation practice, which I always was too busy for. So that, I'm not too busy. Right. And it's also getting me, to that point where I'm trying to learn the discipline of doing it consistently, just being more consistent. And then you get that more consistent result because you've made that cause to, be there, and to not get lazy once things start rolling and everything. And you think, oh, now I don't have time to be all, meditative and exercise or eat well or do any of that good stuff, because now I'm too busy. And this is the time that it's taught me to slow down and try to put that into my schedule and to make it part of my life. Right. So
lifestyle.
Yes.
Right?
Oh my God. It's so hard, isn't it?
I was
hard. I'm an artist, so I just go with the flow, but I'm learning.
But it's something as human nature. I always ask people, when is it the right time to build the well if you want to drink water?
Wow. Yeah.
Most people don't know that the time to build the well is when you don't need water.
Right.
Because when you need water and then you start to build the well, you're not gonna get the water here because it's gonna take time to build the well. So just like you said, when things are going well, when you have the momentum, when you have the flow, when you're taking ground, that's not the time to stop doing the things that got us there, or the things that we need to keep going because things are flowing. Yeah,
this is isn't it amazing that we have this time to learn that lesson and then think we're going to get started, and then everything stops again, and it's like, slow down. Did you learn that lesson yet? Take it easy. Let's give yourself a little bit more time to breathe, a little bit more time to get your stuff together, and not get so comfy, think, oh, it's all going to be gone in a minute and we'll just get back to our old destructive lifestyle. No, we got to stop. We got to figure out how we're going to save the environment, what we're going to do about these people that are, what am I going to do in my life that's how do I get to the point where I'm going to go for a walk every day? I'm going to work out every day because I need that. That's where I'm learning still.
Yeah. Slow down to go faster.
Breathe. Right?
Listen, I've been inspired. All of the things that you've created, it's amazing how, like, I don't even think the world has even scratched the surface on even your photo books or your hard drives. But listen, I would like to thank you with all of my heart. You were way better than I thought you'd be as a guest, and thank you so much for being on. I'd like to
thank you, Sonny.
Jamar, you're a superhero. I love you. Thank you very much, my friend.
Hey, we are superheroes. We are superheroes. Come on, baby. Come on.
Accept it. Let's do it all together. Yeah. Sonny, I'm going to sign off telling everybody here on the Vested community that I touched upon a number of your incredible projects and some of your media, but I understand that you're working on something that is at this point not firmed up to the point where you can broadcast it quite yet. But if everybody will just kind of follow Sunny and her website, all of the projects that she's currently working on, you can check up on at her site and look forward to something really, really exciting coming up here in the real future.
Always.
Jamar, will you tell them a little something and ask them a question, please?
Oh, man. Vested community, we love you. Sonny, we love you. Thank you so much for being here, Coach D. Hey, Mom, Sonny, that's my mom right there. My mom saying you're a bright light, Sonny. What's up, Mom? What's up, Mom? I love you.
Hello.
But Vested here, like Sonny talked about, right? We got to breathe. We got to breathe, and we got to breathe. You think about what Sonny just shared with us so authentically and genuinely about her life. It's been about helping and serving other people, right? And so when you think about what can you do? What can I do? What can we do to serve more people in this current environment? We all have passions and desires. Whatever your passion, your desire is, like Daddy Dr. Bach said, follow that passion, that desire. Have the desire to go after it, because this is the time where we need to shine maximum light in the world. And no matter what it is that you do, the question is, are you vested?